New Moon in Sagittarius, 1212 portal, human design and Astro.
Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. So this video is actually going to be for the new moon in Sagittarius that happened on 12/12. So I think it's really ironic that I'm shooting this video on February 10th exactly at 4 a.m. Because I have not gotten to shoot this earlier. Life has been lifing, and currently I'm actually shooting this in a guest unit in my building because my apartment had to get remediated because we did have some water damage in one of our closets in the laundry room, and with that they had to fix the baseboards. So it has been a journey. I'm really grateful to even be in a place that I can have another space to stay and a partner who is watching our baby while I can do this in the middle of the night. It's been quite a journey, and this has been quite a reflective year in general. So let's trace back to 12/12. So the themes I have for the new moon in Sagittarius, I'm going to read them for you, are portals, ascension, higher knowing, activation, values, intellect, economy, hyperactivity, truth, observation, and attunement. And I think a big reason why this video is just being made is because I do feel like a lot of us energetically are still lingering in 2023. We are tired and we want to catch up with our lives because life has been happening so fast. It feels like we are experiencing life at a way faster rate. And the truth of the matter is we're able to enjoy our favorite things on a consistent basis. We are able to be stimulated by things around us in our life. We are very lucky, blessed, and abundant, many of us, to be in a position to have access to the internet, to be able to even share a lot of the things that are happening to us, and connect to each other around the world. So with all that being said, I think this new moon is really reflective of stepping into a new light and a positive energy. And it's really hard when we are not used to that, right? Like everything in the world is the conditioning of what we've known. So how are we supposed to be anything different if we aren't shown it? And if we spend so much time being stimulated by everything around us, how can we actually take that time to know it, right? Because how can we change a paradigm if we are stuck in one that we're in? So here is what I wrote as the mantra for the new moon in Sagittarius on 12/12. My mantra was Laissez, faire, which means let do. It's a French word, which means let do, and it basically means allow people to be, let others do as they please. And it's really about focusing on being self-governing. And this idea of self-governing, especially as I move through partnership, I'm realizing how important it is as you become as you grow into community with others, how it's really important to still have this strong ability to be self-reliant as well as govern yourself in your decision making and honor those decisions, because at the end of the day, only you can live out the decisions of your life. No one else can live them out for you. So, oh yes, I do want to also say laissez-faire can mean leaving alone. That's another expression. It can be choosing to leave things alone. And leaving things alone is not always a bad thing. I know that I saw somewhere on Threads on Instagram, someone wrote, well, not even someone, I'm seeing it in the collective, because I think I saw a few posts about like giving up being okay, and it's okay to give things up. So part of self-governing is knowing when to let go of things and when to move on from things, but also knowing what things are worth keeping and what things are worth holding value for you, even if they don't hold value for others. So here's what I put for the energy reading. And again, I've already written this and posted it on Instagram and created graphics around this, which you guys are definitely free to check out. I'll post my Instagram here. But yeah, know that I write these up and I post them first and then I make the videos. So if you ever want to probably see them before the video comes out, also check the Instagram and stay in touch there. And I do have a broadcast channel on my Instagram, so feel free to join the broadcast channel to get the first look at those posts. So ironically, my camera cut off because my phone storage was full. And that's ironic because I was going to say my broadcast channel, you can get the first look at my posts, because in this day and age, a lot of what we see is a lot of content on Instagram. So I just want to let you guys get some content that's on human design and mindfulness and well-being, available to you in an easy way that doesn't get you in the clutter of looking at an Instagram feed sometimes, because sometimes we just want to get the information we need and go. So definitely check out my broadcast channel for that, and subscribe on my Instagram as well as TikTok, because I kind of play over there, and I don't know, I just throw stuff on that right now. So anyway, let's jump into the energy reading while I have my phone working. So the energy reading, I'm going to read from this for the sake of time. It says, every being is experiencing a major upgrade in awareness and self-expression. And exactly, this is why it's a lot. Like, our lives are becoming so abundant. We're trying to capture it all. Expression of life can be the catalyst for change that takes us to greater heights and new horizons, balancing joy and the deep purpose of being human with fulfilling work, which is making us all question our work now. It says it's going to be a major theme this month. So this was 12/12 portal. Connect with your senses and others to help drop into your physical body through movement, travel, and deep introspection and exploration. Having self-compassion will lead to the heart-opening expansions that help you see the beauty of all life. Because again, when you are operating in a mindset of laissez faire or let do, we do have to be open and compassionate to the ideas and expressions of others to some degree. To full degree. As you guys can see, this is something I am still working on, as again, with lots of changes to your awareness, you can also look at life so differently. But I also understand that people look at me so differently. There was a few years ago, I would not have shown up on camera like this. At this point, I do see the beauty in showing up as you are, because I think we all can relax into a simpler and just less complicated life if we just knew that, yes, we all can show up in different expressions and phases and in different seasons of our life. All right, so now I want to talk about the human design gate 26, the gate of ego. And interestingly enough, this gate has the archetype of the wise woman, also known as the midwife, here in the Chinese I Ching. And this is actually the expression specifically I'm giving you guys. It's from the Chinese I Ching, but specifically the Kuan Yin Book of Changes, which is the feminine version of the I Ching, classically called the Yi Ching. And yes, I say all of that because we do want to conserve the history of this information. Although I am sharing it in a very unique way, I do want to make sure that I keep some of the terminology and jargons still here, but also the beauty of my personal transmission and allowing the universe to show it through me. So, saying all of that, when I talk about grounding and the wise woman, going through the experience of birth and going through this radical identity shift and ego shift, it made me have such a respect for my midwives and women who are of matriarchy and women who are birthing women and mothers, because you realize, like, oh, I could have said one time in my life I would never be a person who did this or that, and now I'm a mother, and now I'm forced to do this or that. And the wisdom from that type of experience reverberates throughout mothers, because they are able to now to take this information and walk through life with such deep humility that you are able to have kind of like a pure or clean heart, and now your true identity or self can shine. So we know that the ego is often looked at in a negative way, but here I feel like ego can be such a beautiful thing, because it brings now a flavor and an artfulness to your life, which is the gift of ego. When you are able to understand so much of life through living and through your identities, going through different periods and different identities. And we know that I always say, and we know, because I feel like I want to kind of speak to the Akashic and the collective consciousness of these things are of us to remember, right? So we know that, see, but then I'd be losing my train of thought. It's gonna come back. Get through life. If you are able to be so many different identities and play so many different roles, if you are a mother, you're a cook, you're a cleaner, you are a negotiator, you are you're a nurturer. It's such a tender thing to do. And like when you are a mother, you're putting these very unique situations of intimacy, of having to soften and understand the needs and like being of another person, and that really shifts your identity as well. Human design gate 26 ego. Here's what I wrote. This human design gate in the Chinese I Ching is known as the hexagram of the wise woman, and also known as grounding. This hexagram best reflects the archetype of the midwife and her ability to accumulate resources, identities, after identifying and gathering her specific and needed gifts and abilities to the material plane. Our ego is often viewed from its shadow aspects, for example, manipulation, wanting others for our own intentions, or boastful, wanting others to want what we have. But again, as a mother, you kind of have to lose all of that. Manipulation with a child or being boastful, you have to, you do well. I would say to be a good parent, you fall into a level of humility. So the gift of this energy is artfulness, which is basically being able to be extremely cunning yet likable and charismatic, and also heart-centered. This is really about being able to have an identity that comes from a place that you feel pure of heart. It says, the way we do this is to operate from the heart. It's the door to the subconscious mind, and it is. So again, ego and feeling like you can come into your identity and yourself can very much be about letting do and honoring what you need, your specific gifts and ability, and what's true to you. And what I'm learning is part of honoring motherhood is honoring what you need. And sometimes what you need can conflict with what your child needs, but it's important to kind of learn how to balance the two, because both needs need to be served. And also part of parenthood is stepping into a sacrificial energy of being able and having empathy, because that's what empathy is really about, a certain level of compassion towards there are moments where the others needs to be met. There are moments when others will understand that my needs need to be met. So now let's talk about rulership, because ego and rulership, these go hand in hand, how you identify and what position you play. Rulership, here's what I wrote. To rule is to uphold the values of the community. This month, consider how you oversee the world around you and what perceptions are imprinted on the subconscious mind. Attuning yourself to others can help you establish a level of trust and security for them, and in turn, you. When we feel listened to, you feel powerful. The best way we can be ready to attune to the needs of others is being aware of our body's physical needs in our present moment. If we are not well, we cannot rule, as this can lead to perversion in leadership, dishonoring all. The world political climate is currently reflecting the shadow frequencies of this gene key, and as we create fractals of new awareness, we can come together to shape the world from the inside out. So that is a mouthful. Feel free to watch that many times because I know I really said a lot, but I feel like that has a lot of information. And if you're watching this, you might be someone who might consider yourself an empath or highly sensitive, or even someone who came from a religious upbringing and need to bring. Okay, so my camera had cut out again because of storage issues. I had to merge some files together, but I'm gonna wrap this video up. But yes, if you are someone who considers yourself an empath, light worker, etc., and you came across this video, I highly recommend watching Gate 45 Rulership, the clip I just did, and just listen to it, because I do feel like you might be a leader. I might be someone who's meant to rule, and understanding that it is okay to have the heart that you have and step into a role of leadership with that heart, and understand that the best way you do that is by continuing to focus on showing up as your best self, being a good person, all of those qualities that we do see, that we consider to make a virtuous leader. All of those things can definitely help you. So again, it says the world political climate is currently reflecting the shadow frequencies, which is why we do need leaders who are not reflecting those frequencies, people who do want to see a new world and also create an idealistic world. I don't think it's crazy to want to start reimagining the world as it is and actually feeling like we can put into practice the things that we want to see. Literally, that is how we got here to this, moment in time of this great expansion. So, yes. Also, study human design. I do human design readings, so feel free to book a reading with me. I'll put that information here and also down below. But also, feel free to do the research yourself if that is what you are inclined to do, because I do feel like everyone's journey with human design is different. Some of us are meant to teach it, some of us are meant to come across it to take us to another part of our journey or a path. So yeah, if that is something you're interested in, feel free to hit me up about it. So here's some self-care prompts. Share a newfound philosophy. Take time for deep journaling, and I am guilty that I have not really done this. I do a lot of writing, so I guess in some ways this is a lot of introspection for me when I come up and create these writings and posts. But one thing I will say is taking more deep time to do personal writing is really essential, and it really helps, especially if you want to practice automatic writing, which is allowing like your thoughts literally to free write from your hands, and like then going back and reading it, because sometimes that can show us what our subconscious mind needs to express. Check your astrocartography. Your astrocartography can show you where you can live that is beneficial for you, and you can literally go on the website. I think literally if you Google astrocartography, the first website is going to pop up, and I think it's called Astro Dance or something. So I'll also probably just put it below for you guys, because why not? So yes, because this new moon is in Sagittarius is all about travel. I figure knowing what place you can go where you can govern yourself best, being in your right environment, as we speak about in human design, is extremely important. It's really interesting that I usually am not able to work past certain periods of time, like especially when I'm tired. But this time I'm in a different space, and I knew that my apartment didn't energetically feel good for me, and I'm in my environment. This is a 6th floor unit right now that I'm in, and I am in my mountain. I'm elevated. Even though it's 4:30 a.m. that I'm making this video, I feel like I'm just in my environment. I don't know how to describe it. You just feel good when you're in a place that works with your energetic aura. and allows you to express yourself. And sometimes that means the conditions around you, the air quality. For me, I'm mountain. I can deal with very shallow air and be comfortable. So that is probably what I'm enjoying. There's a lot of free flowing air up here. So I know that was a mouthful. Next is say hello to a stranger, because it's Aquarian to be unique, weird, and do things that you don't normally do, like rambling or saying hello. If you're not a person who wants to talk to people, sometimes stepping out of your norm, for me, like doing this video at this time, kind of showing up a little in this way, is a little out my norm. Not so much anymore, but again, this journey of even coming on here is a whole new norm. So connecting, saying hello to a stranger could even be creating on YouTube. I'm saying hello to lots of strangers right now who I hope one day aren't strangers. But yeah, I'm doing a lot. Next is make a promise to yourself and keep it. And ironically, that was my promise, that I would utilize the space I'm in, because I knew it probably would be really good for me to record here. And I just did it, even though I'm doing it this late. My apartment was remediated, so now I'm able to go back there. So we have to return the keys in the morning. And I'm like, I really just want to be in this space and record one of my long form videos. And just, I do like to move around and try the different spaces. So explore that energy this month, or when you see this video, because this month passed, but reflect on even the cycle when it happened, but know that this video is timeless as well. So writing prompts to end this video. Where can I expand my vision? And part of expanding your vision could sometimes be just being open to whatever circumstances you have, and knowing that what is created is what is meant to be created. 2, how can I reflect the beliefs I have adopted by living them out? I told myself I wanted to create a life where I made money doing what makes me happy and helping others. I told myself I wanted to, be open to changing up my scenery, but I also told myself I wanted to find and utilize my environment. So here we are. What are some things you told yourself you wanted to do, and how are you doing it? What areas of my life can I adopt new values? And I will be honest here. An area of my life I can adopt new values is maybe being a little friendlier and less rigid. Part of rigidity has been part of my imprint, because a lot of times I was put in positions where I wasn't safe. And because of that, I've had no choice but to be rigid. And in this season of my life, I'm realizing I am safe now. I don't have to be as rigid as I was before. But in this season of my life, as I am governing myself and now a child, I can put myself in a position and environments that serve me best, and show that in my values. Like, the company I keep has to be based on values. I think I was focused on one value so much, which is wanting to be friendly and wanting to be liked, that I wasn't focusing on, but why do you want to be liked by people who don't share your values? So next, am I living in alignment with my inner being? This goes back to your environment, maybe your diet, your regimen, your lifestyle. My inner being is not necessarily a person that wants to be on a strict schedule every day, yet there's a part of me that feels like I have to. And every time I look back to that, I'm realizing so much of my conditioning had me on a strict schedule every single day. So even doing something like this and trusting that it is serving a purpose for someone, it can feel really difficult to see it, because I'm like, I only thought I was serving a purpose if I was dressed a certain way, or I'm serving a purpose if I'm at a certain job, or I'm serving a purpose if I'm preaching from the good book, because that's the only way you can serve God, right? And then you had to realize, you are serving a purpose by showing up every day, just taking care of yourself, and wanting to be better. Because you are a part of someone's journey, someone else is a part of your journey, and the whole point of life is to go through this journey. It's not necessarily to have these answers already, because it's kind of like waiting for Godot. If we went through life knowing every single thing, we would just be standing there, because there'd be nothing to do, right? But part of the doing is the journey. And I have two things that I wrote, two TikToks that I put. One is Indy711, her new moon in Sag video on TikTok. She's really funny. She does astrology videos. I kind of really relate to the way she shares information, because I feel like she can share a lot of valuable information in a really relatable and funny way. And I really respect people who can get information across in a unique way that makes you feel like comfort and like you're their friend, genuinely. I think that's valuable in a day and age where everything can feel transactional. So yeah, I really like her as a content creator. I don't know her, but I think she's cool. So the next thing is egg theory. Someone made a video on TikTok regarding egg theory. I'm gonna play it real quick because it's no longer available. So that means you can find out about this theory on the web yourself, and it's always good to do your own research, but look up egg theory. There's a reason I wrote it in my notes at this time, so check it out. I'm gonna end the video here because my storage might be full again, and that is my personal note, and I'm gonna have you guys hold me accountable if you want. But again, this video is about self-governing. So yeah, I gotta make some space on my phone and kind of organize some things so that I can have an easier process creating here. Part of the journey of motherhood and growing in my skills, and I come on here and I like to be honest about that, because I am not perfect by any means, and I can't wait to share with you guys a lot more of that journey and my mistakes, my failures, the things I think I'm really good at, and the things I'm still learning. I also just posted a video about pumping as a mom at 2 years now, with a 2-year-old, and why, and also the unboxing. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you're a parent and a mom and a mama, or someone in birth work and you think it's entertaining, please feel free to check it out. It's just showing, I just want to show that there are different ways to mother, and there are different ways to go about this journey, and life puts us in these vehicles to have this experience. And the more we realize that a lot of us are just getting hit by life, and we're just doing the best we can, and we can move with that compassion and empathy, we will be nicer. And I'm saying this for myself because people really be pissing me off. So bye.
And if you like this video, subscribe to my channel to support my content.